Wow, that's a different tune than typically I find myself humming or singing as we begin a stream, but what the hell? If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, I guess. I don't know what else to say. Hey, Orb is in. Cesaro is here. Sukamakak. Arthur. Jeff Fagaccini. Not late at all. Just 26 seconds in. Andrew's back. Bukaki Tsunami. Wolverine's here. Omega Project. Trophy Hunter Dan. Doing good, pal. Wild Crowd is in. Pizza Man. Hi, Morgan. Oh, yeah. We had at least some notifications go out. And I'll always take some because that's significantly better than none, which Susan has been known to do. Member Barry says, advice you say? How do I get over my erectile dysfunction? Blue pill. Take a bunch of them and ignore that shit they tell you about if it lasts for more than 4 hours. If it lasts for more than 4 hours, get online and brag. Hey, Forgotten Light. We'll have a gaming stream soon. I'm gonna do them when I like to do them when I have a little more time to, because sometimes I get wound up in the games, and it's more difficult to find stopping points. Plus, I get swept up in these too, just because I like chatting. Tsunami says I'm fucked up and I need a lot of advice. No, I'm not gonna be playing GTA Online anytime soon, Alex. I wanna complete the missions first. Gears of War. No, I've never played one, Xander. I haven't played any of the Gears of War. Yeah, I have a PlayStation 4, Jeff. Sitting right here next to me. Yep. Hey, Chardonnay. Let's see. Hi, Daniel. Yeah, again, these streams are a big part of my day. A very enjoyable part of my day. Morgan says, as a fellow creative, how do you overcome feeling like what you're creating isn't good? I am my own worst critic with my writing. It's interesting, Morgan, having a writing background myself, that can be a good thing and a bad thing. It's what you're dealing with, I think, is preferable to the people, and they're out there, who think that everything they write is brilliant, and anybody who says any different is just one of the unwashed masses and just doesn't get it. And I think that's a much worse situation to be in, because then you never learn anything because you think you know it all. But as far as it's difficult to say how you get over being overly critical of yourself, other than being able to find even if it's a small group, even a tiny group of people who you really trust and will tell you right out if something is good, and also tell you right out if they don't think it is quite so good, and that they have no ulterior motives. Those are the people you need. I mean, granted, those people are hard to find, but that's when I've done different things for the channel or this, that, or the other around here. I always tell the gang, listen, remember, when I ask for advice, you don't help me if you automatically go to either extreme thinking that's what I want. Try and find things that are wrong with it that maybe are not even an issue, or the other way, just saying, oh, Curtis, that's great because, we're friends. So when you can find those people, that's the only real insulation you have, I think, against that, being your own harshest critic, and sometimes overly harsh, is just listen to what those people that you truly trust have to say. And then there is the thing too, I mean, when you read your own writing, read it, absorb it, and then you not only have to analyze the writing, you have to analyze as best you can your own motivations for your take. In other words, try and determine, okay, was I being a little nitpicky there? Would the average person even care? It's tough. It really is. That was the one good thing about writing stand-up material. A lot of times I didn't know exactly how funny something was going to be. It might be really funny to me, and then you get out on stage and it's like, it was only me. Or the opposites happen. I read a joke that was kind of a throwaway and it ends up being one of the focal points of the entire set. But the cool thing about that was you got that real live and harsh immediate reaction, so you knew over a period of time what to keep and what not to keep. But that's the best advice I can give. I don't know how much it's worth. Dragon says, do you think Trump potentially ending the Afghanistan war will help him in November? Certainly can't hurt. It's amazing how short people's memories are. So, I mean, I'm sure that when it gets closer to the election, the Republicans have an absolute ass ton of money right now because donations have been just record shattering for the last several months. So I'm sure they will take every opportunity to remind people of that. So, given that, I think it'll have some effect because I can't imagine that they won't be really, really pushing it in their advertising when it comes to November. Too many things I want to do and not enough time. I've been there, Arthur. That one, there's only so much you can do. The only real thing you can do about that is because I have to do it all the time. Go through your schedule with a fine tooth comb and make sure that you've utilized every available option for juggling things or fitting something in here or there. And if you have, then unfortunately it gets to where it's like, okay, well, this thing has to go back burner because these things are more important. That one I can really, excuse me, guys, I can identify with. I go through that all the time. Godtastic says, what are your thoughts about long distance relationships? They completely depend on the individuals. Some people that it can work for, other people it's just destined to fail. But I know that's not much help. But to me anyway, I can't really tell you because it is so dependent on the individuals. It completely, how a long distance relationship might work for me is completely different than how the long distance relationship might work for the next person. So there's not much I can tell you other than that. It all depends on the individuals. You have a choice in GTA 5 at the end as Franklin, and sorry for spoiling for. Have a choice? Yeah, that's not a spoiler. I would imagine we'll have choices throughout. Andrew Curtis, you hear Booty Judge dropped out too. Yeah, Andrew. I give the kid credit. He did way better than I certainly expected, than I think most anybody expected him to do, and he did the right thing in dropping out. He's not going to win the nomination, so he's backing out before Super Tuesday, saying, okay, let my voters go where they think their vote can be most well spent. And he's 38. He's got a huge future in front of him. And let me tell you something. Him dropping out now is really going to endear him to the DNC. And down the road, that could pay huge dividends. Because when he's running again, and I'm pretty sure he will be, the DNC won't forget what he did. So, yeah, it was the smart move. What is the best way to deal with snowflakes? Oh, Dragon. I generally employ sarcasm and or facts because a lot of the snowflakes really, really don't like facts. It's all about the feelings. And if you start hitting them with facts, typically they run to a safe space. So yeah, that combination of sarcasm and facts it works best for me. uh, Prasanna, I didn't hear about this. What are your thoughts on that Australian senator who wants to ban child abuse, anime, and manga? I don't know. It depends on what they're. If it's genuine child abuse, I mean, real hardcore child abuse, I don't even think that. Why would anybody even be looking to partake in that or purchase that? If they're talking about child abuse because, like in Naruto, kids get into battles, then it's just fucking stupidity. But it wouldn't surprise me that I'm sure we would have like-minded idiots over here in the U.S. that would jump on board with that. uh, Jeff Killer says, what is my opinion on gun control? I am very pro Second Amendment. I do not have issue with certain regulations, just like anything else. I mean, just like driving a car or anything else, you need regulations. But I am not for in any way, shape, or form gun confiscation or the elimination of the ability for ownership of guns. Yeah, I don't know what more to say than that. I am pro Second Amendment, but again, not against any type of, I don't even want to say gun reforms, but any type of laws that are sensible. But I do understand why a lot of people are against those. A lot of gun enthusiasts are against those laws because, and they're right, to a lot of people on the left, those are just the steps. If we get this step done, then we go to the next step, that type of thing. So taking away guns wouldn't work anyway. No, it would not, Joe. It would without question put the country into civil war. No doubt about it. There's no question. Let's see. 50% of Bernie bros are pro gun. To be honest, I have no idea on that, Flame. I can't comment. I've never seen any numbers on Bernie supporters and gun control. I have no idea. Let's see. It's not. He literally got. Oh, okay. Saw says it's not. He literally got in his info from child abuse hentai, and he did not cite one thing about the so-called research in which he claimed pedophiles were grooming children with anime. What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ! Now pedophiles are grooming children with it. There's always going to be the lunatics. There's always going to be the lunatic fringe that they're not. To me, they're not even worth addressing. They really aren't. They should just be patted on the head and sent along their way. Let's see. Ultra Luke says, I woke up with my penis stuck in a glass of cucumber water. I don't know how it happened, but all I know is I was with a Korean foot masseuse last night. I would file that under I would file that under a cool life experience. Morgan, I'm moderate, lean liberal, and I'm definitely pro Second Amendment, just as long as the laws are sensible. Yeah, I am. And again, as I said, currently I lean right, but that changes depending on how the left and the right are conducting themselves. Because again, I don't fit into either side. There are things that I believe that are deal breakers for both the left and the right. The reason I lean right now is because I think the left has gone too far to the left. The reason I used to lean left 15, 20 years ago was because the right had gone too far right with the Tea Party and all that horseshit. So it all depends for me. Firewall Dragon, the fun fact, the term assault rifle doesn't exist. It was coined by lawyers. The term assault rifle is idiotic. What exactly does that mean? Assault rifle. Again, anything can be an assault, anything. If I take this and stab somebody in the neck with it, it's an assault pen. That's just stupid. An assault rifle. It's a moronic phrase, and it's typically used by people who have absolutely zero idea what they're talking about when it comes to guns. So that's just this is a good one-size-fits-all phrase, and assault weapons. It's moronic. Just found out that the coronavirus has reached my hometown. Oh, it has, Lex? Oh, boy. Assault rifle hitting them with the butt of the rifle, Douglas says. Maybe, Douglas. Yeah, it's a moronic term. As soon as I see somebody saying something like that includes that phrase, like ban assault rifles, it's just the way it strikes me. I immediately dismiss them as morons, and you really don't. At that point, you stop taking in anything they have to say because you figure it's just somebody else speaking out of ignorance. Well, thanks, Yusef from Syria. Oh, things are difficult in Syria right now. I hope you're safe. Ooh, tough place to be right now. Memberberry says a federal judge just ordered a Hillary Clinton deposition to address the private email servers. This will be fun. Really, Berries? Like when you say just now, because I hadn't read that. Oh, yep. That could get interesting. That could get really interesting. Oh, geez. It's reached London. Poppy says, yeah, it's in New York City. The thing is, guys, it's probably in a lot of areas that we aren't aware of yet, because you have to remember the vast majority of cases of coronavirus are mild. And now they're learning that some of them are so mild you don't even realize you have it. So it's not surprising that it's turning up in so many places. People just got to get smart. You got to do exactly what they tell you. The constant hand washing, the being aware of your surroundings, of as best you can. Some people in major cities, you can't help but be in and amongst people all day, every day. So, where I am, it's much more feasible. We live out in the country. We're very rural. I can go to a store and there might be 3 or 4 more other people in the store while I buy my shit. So you're careful about not, while you're out, whatever you're doing, not touching your mouth, not touching your face, not anything like that with your hands, Go out, take care of your business, go home, and scrub the shit out of your hands, because it's all, it is only passed on by droplets. It's not airborne. So as long as you stay clean, you stay with a chance. Lick says, some bloke 20 minutes down from me caught it while in Italy. Worst part is he supposedly works with kids. Yikes. It's surprising. Has anybody seen an explanation why? I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Has anybody seen an explanation why it doesn't seem to be hitting kids that hard, though? Has anybody? I got to look that up, because I've been seeing the numbers, and typically when you get something like this, it's ultra dangerous to the aged, which this is, and the real youngsters. But this one hasn't been. I wonder what it is about that. I'm gonna have to look that up. Let's see. Ultra Luke says, I'm pro Canadian gun laws. Some guns are outright banned, others are restricted and non-restricted. Canada is ranked 3 in the top 5 safest countries as a result. Well, it would depend. It'd have to be more specific to me, Luke. I'd have to know what is banned and what isn't. We have guns banned here now too, like automatic weapons, things of that nature. But as far as being ranked 3 in the top 5 safest countries, to say that's as a result of that, that's what I would disagree with. I think the safety within your nation is a stat derived directly from the residents of the nation, not the tools they use to commit the violence. We have a problem with school shootings, with mass shootings in this country, because for some reason, we have too many people that are fucked up. And it wasn't that way 40 years ago, and guns were just as, if not more so, readily available. So I would like to figure out what changed. Right, Arthur says it mainly affects weak lungs and immune systems. Those are generally the people that are in real danger. And of course, weakened immune systems are the elderly, and anybody with, as Arthur says, breathing problems. That's why I'm way more concerned, if it were to become more prevalent, about my wife than I am myself. I'm not in any of those categories that's high risk, but my wife has asthma, so that concerns me way more than getting it myself. Omega says, I'm pretty safe from the coronavirus. I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't see many people. Also, I'll say, if you feel sick, stay home, even if you don't think it's anything. Yeah, right, Omega, and you're right. That's right now, as far as coronavirus, that's the place to be. The more rural you are, the better shape you are. The less interaction you have with big numbers of people, you're much, much, much better off. The coronavirus ain't no kid liking creep, but likes a matured individual. Pretty much, Milog. I'm gonna have to look into that and see if they've determined why. Because I mean, it's a good thing. Obviously, it's a great thing. But whenever you see the numbers, it's not attacking little kids, which is fantastic. Links Gaming. So I don't think a civilian needs a 50 cal weapon. That is my stance. If I don't believe 50 cal weapons are legal to be owned by private citizens without special licensing and stuff of that nature. So they're basically impossible. HD says, seriously, I kind of dislike the U.S. gun laws. That's kind of generic. I mean, dislike what about them? I have a work meeting, so I got to go. Oh, thanks for being in while you could, Morgan. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's see. Forgotten Light says, bullshit, I live in Regina, Canada, and there are so many people being attacked by guns now. It's stupid as fuck. Really? Really? I hadn't even heard about that. Well, you got to remember, too, if that's going on, Forgotten Light, we will not hear about it in America if our mainstream media has anything to say about it. They intentionally try and skirt past or just do not cover gun violence in other nations because it hurts their narrative that it only happens here. Let's see. Hold on, let me catch up here. Not the Cool Up says, what's your favorite memorabilia for be or shed? I'm not sure what you mean, Cool Whip. I think it got auto corrected on you or something. I'm not sure what you're saying. Bayonetta? No, Chardonnay. I'm not familiar with that one. At least Corona isn't a child stalker, right, Poppy? Right. I'm gonna have to look that up. I wonder why that is. Again, it's a very good thing, but typically those types of viruses, those are the two groups in most peril: the elderly and the very, very young. Bill says, how long does it take you to make a vid? completely depends on what type of vid. Um, you know, if it's a reaction vid to let's say Devil Artemis, not as long because those videos are short. If it's the posting of the Dragon Ball Super videos, quite a while because I go through and I have to edit. I have to edit them down to make sure that they can stay up on YouTube, and I want to keep all the most pertinent parts in, or the parts that I want to share with you guys in. So it takes me longer to edit that, much longer to edit one than it ever took me to even watch an episode of it or anything. And then of course you have the rendering, the uploading, all that stuff. It entirely depends on what type of video. Varies wildly. Let's see. Firewall Dragon says 50 caliber rifles can be obtained without a license. Oh, can you? That I wasn't sure about. If you get a single shot version like my uncle has, he converted it from an AR-15. Holy crap! But it's got to be a single shot version. Well, that would make more sense. Yeah, a 50 cap. Well, actually, it wouldn't. And again, I'm not a gun expert. I know I have a better base of knowledge than do a lot of people who speak out on gun issues. But I'm thinking, Dragon, you probably couldn't even make a 50 cal that was semi-auto anyway, could you? Wouldn't it fry the barrel? I mean, the heat would have to be ridiculous. If you were to firing off 50 cals one right after the other, you'd have to have a machine gun style body, right? I don't think you could have it in a rifle. I think it would just flame it right up. I would think anyway. Um, Corona Chan is a chariophile. You're in luck. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Arthur. I haven't quite reached that age yet. um, you guys are funny. Let's see. What's your favorite memorabilia gift on your shelf? Oh, I don't know that I have favorites. I mean, you got to remember anything that was sent from you guys has a special place for us because I mean that's just a really cool thing that you guys have thought enough of us to send us whatever it is you wanted to send. So I don't think I really have any favorites. I enjoy all of it. That's why as much of it as I can do is displayed. I want to readjust this whole room so I can display more of the stuff and get. I've got so many anime pops now. I want to be able to display them better so they're in the background of my shots. I got to figure this out. And living in this old house that we have, it's a pain in the ass because we don't have the typical number of outlets in any of the rooms. So you're constantly running extension cords and everything from the limited outlet you have. So it kind of inhibits how I can move around here. Let's see. Ultra Luke says, in Canada, semi-auto rifles are restricted. Full auto machine guns are only available to law enforcement, military, and most handguns, shotguns are not restricted. Well, same thing. Full auto, Luke, here, same thing. You can only get them if you have some sort of special licensing, and you have to go through all these different training courses. It's just for gun experts, guns enthusiasts type things. They're basically illegal. Semi-auto rifles are restricted. I don't know what the restrictions are on them, but the vast majority of rifles are semi-auto. So are the vast majority of handguns. There's very few revolvers that are sold anymore in comparison. So to me, I'm not for a semi-auto weapons ban because that's most all of the guns. And the thing of it is, you know what always makes me laugh too? Now we know we had the school shooting in Florida a couple of years ago, and that's the one that still gets all the attention nowadays. But it was only several months after that we had another school shooting in Texas. I believe 10 kids were killed in that one. And it got dropped like a hot potato. Nobody talks about it anymore. Didn't fit the narrative. It wasn't an AR. It was a shotgun and a handgun they used. And it's just sad that if the shooting doesn't fit the narrative, it gets covered and then dropped because it's like, well, this isn't proving our point. The Barrett 50 cal sniper rifle is semi-auto. Really, Dragon? That surprises me. Again, just because I thought a semi-auto 50 cal would just destroy the barrel. I thought it'd get so hot it'd basically melt it. I'm really surprised by that. I did not know that. The memorabilia isn't real. It's all green screen, Curtis. How could you forget your own lie? Shh, berries. uh, let's see. Counterbox Soldier says, what about semi-miniguns when a nuke explodes when you fly? Lost me. I'm not sure what that means. Boku no Pico? Yeah, I think I'll pass on that for right now, Ink. um, who drew my thumbnail? Which thumbnail? I have to remember. I have so many different social media posts and stuff now. Oh, the one with, I'm not sure which one you mean. The one in the corner with Slow Joe and Simi on it. That was Miss Mel drew that for us. She was. I still every once in a blue moon I'll have interaction with her on Twitter or something. Steve's right here. I was just gonna ask if Steve was in. Steve will Assassin Exization is Steve. He is our oldest regular member here at the channel. The channel started in May of 2011. I think Steve was in with us by like September of that year. And Miss Mel also is from the UK, and she was one of that original group as well. And she's the one who drew that. She drew that for us a few years ago. I used to love what I do, CS says, but I can't stand my job anymore. I get physically sick when I have to go to work. On the other hand, I absolutely love being in the kitchen. That's a shame. CS, I for whatever it's worth, I've been there. I've had a job that I've had two different jobs in my life that every day it was like, oh my God, you open your eyes and it's like, God damn it. The only thing I can tell you is there's always a light at the end of the tunnel because you can always find something in a field that you like. And I don't know your circumstance. I don't know how old you are. I don't know where you are in the job market. But if you're young, I encourage you, go out and find yourself something in a kitchen. Even if you're starting out bussing tables or something, get your foot in that industry door. Because once you get inside an industry, it becomes much easier to move up. My sister did it. My little sister, she went to work. She was like 17. She got her first job working at a Dunkin' Donuts. Shortly after that, she moved over and she worked at a car dealership. Just, she was bottom level at a car dealership, inputting information, stuff like that. Well, she stayed in car dealerships, and now she's like office manager, highly sought after, and makes big money just working her way up. Had nothing to do with education or anything like that. Just working hard and grinding her way up through that industry. You can do the same thing. Do it. Get work in a kitchen if that's what you like. Do I own a gun? I do. Assassin. I have the only one I have right now is actually a it's a little 22 that was given to Braxton. I still have it here, just a little 22 rifle. I am going to buy another rifle just for home security. It's just I haven't gotten around to it yet. When I was a kid, my grandpa had a revolver, and he said if you're going to be around it, you should know how to use it. So I can use a gun even though I don't care for them. That I agree with. I could not agree with more, Omega. The thing that makes guns less dangerous is people being schooled in how to use them. Now, I grew up in the country. All my uncles and relatives were all hunters, and they all came out to our house to hunt. And we had this, the house we rented had like 260 some acres. So right out in our backyard, there was basically a mountain at the end of the backyard, and a tree had fallen down. So we could go right in our backyard and target practice. So I was taught how to handle firearms from the time I was like 5 or 6. So yeah, once you have a healthy respect for it, and especially when you shoot them and you understand the power that they bring, it gives you that respect for them. That I believe that's the greatest thing you can do for a kid is let them be around the guns, learn about them, teach them so they know to respect them. But as far as what is making people lose their minds and want to shoot a bunch more people, that's an issue unto itself. Giggity Goo says, any suggestions on how to shoot pistol? I nail shooting a shotgun and rifle, but I can't shoot for shit from 5 yards with my dad's Glock. Pistols are a pain in the ass, aren't they? I'm much better with a rifle too, but I spent, as a kid, I spent a lot more time with rifles than I did with pistols. The only thing you can do is just practice, and getting the grip, getting the comfortable grip, getting the comfortable stance and everything. Pistols are a lot more complex, certainly, but it's like anything else. It's just a matter of grinding it out with the practice. Brother E says, I've been part of the channel since you and Brax were doing the Happy Wheels vids. Oh, remember the Happy Wheels? Those were fun. Now Susan doesn't even want any of us doing those. Man, times have changed. The quality and content has evolved so much since, yet the raunchy has got even worse. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that yeah, it's funny you say that, brother E. I gotta hold on. I gotta do a screen grab and show you guys something funny. Let me grab Dragon's comment first. See what Susan thinks about things. I would recommend a shotgun for home security. The Mossberg 59A1 is a great choice. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe going with a shotgun. I'm still debating Dragon. I want to have something that my wife will be comfortable handling too. My wife's not afraid of guns. I mean, she's not a gun enthusiast, but she shot them. When we go down to North Carolina, I've told you guys that my sister's boyfriend is a competitive shooter. So we'll all go out and he's got all different kinds of weapons for us to shoot. So she shot them. I just want to make sure. Shotgun boy, that's right, biggest screen. So I just got to make sure it's something she's comfortable with too. Let me grab a screen grab. I wanted to show you. I meant to show you guys this the other day. What the hell is it? Or can I screen grab it, or it will be too much of a pain in the ass? I'll just explain it to you. As you guys know, I've said we rarely ever. I am caught up, right? Yes. We rarely ever get demonetized videos here, just because they do have a system for it, and the system has figured out that we're not doing anything worth demonetization. So recently, we just started getting almost all our recent live streams have gotten demonetized, which again, you guys know exactly what that means. It's no 92 cents. So that's not the issue. I was trying to figure out why. Now, a couple of them we talked about the coronavirus, so that was why. Immediately, as soon as that was in there, I figured they were getting demonetized because, YouTube doesn't want adult conversation about anything. That's taboo. Who would want to advertise to adults when, the conversation is also adult? Ones got demonetized and held up under appeal, even though there was nothing controversial in them. The ones with golden on the front on the Free for All Friday. The dipshits from YouTube who review when you contest whether or not something should be demonetized saw the picture of me on the front, or saw the picture of golden on the front, and automatically demonetized them. I thought that was awesome. Omega says, my grandpa taught me on scarecrows mostly because that's what was around. He also said it was more practical than shooting trees. I agree. Oh, poor scarecrows. Shoot their ass. God damn it, Susan. Oh, I was laughing because I'm trying to figure out, it's like, why are you guys demonetizing my live streams all of a sudden? Now, again, the coronavirus one I got, but it's like, these are just the same conversations we have all the time. And then it dawned on me, anything with golden on it, they're demonetizing. Yeah, even say, oh shit, I missed that. Somebody was saying something about Corona, and I missed who it was. God damn it. Chrome said, yeah, even saying Corona is a banned term for YouTube monetization for some reason. Yeah, that's why, Chrome, because again, it's an adult conversation. We can't have any of that. Jeez. Not the Cool Whip. Do you think China could take over the world? China's just working to survive right now. And of all places, I mean, it was recklessness and carelessness that the coronavirus exists. The way the Chinese government handles things, the way the people live in China, it's a ticking time bomb for things of this nature. And then it's the worst place in the world to have a virus like that take off because, as we've said, the way it spreads is high concentration of people. Well, there you go. China, they're all right on top of each other everywhere, basically everywhere, except for the mountain dwellers. So it was just a perfect storm for a virus to take off. Let's see. Why is your government so bad at everything, Fernando? That's kind of a blanket statement. What specifically is the government bad at? I mean, general statements like that are just kind of useless. I mean, what does that mean exactly? Let's see. YouTube wants to control the subject you want to discuss on your channel. Yes, they do, Uncle Smith. You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's just ridiculous. For those of you who don't know, we looked up one time. This was a while back. We did it live on a stream. We looked up to see what one of the live streams had brought in ad revenue, and it was 92 cents. So I'm not concerned about the monetary hit. It was just the idea. It's like, why are you guys demonetizing us all of a sudden? And so I was trying to put together the clues. Well, that's what it was. When Golden's on front, It's pretty much over. Yeah. Steve says Chinese people should stick to eating noodles rather than bat. Could not agree more. um, Ultra Luke says in Canada the restrictions included magazines only being able to hold 10 rounds. We have that in New York now, due to being pinned and barrel lengths restricted on firearms in the country. Yeah, several states, several municipalities of different size have legislation about the size of a magazine. We have that here in New York as well. Member Barry says 2011. Holy shit! I've been watching for almost 7 years. Then I joined in like late 2013 under the name Sean Abbott. Not you remember. I remember the original punching the monkey in the face. Yes, so you do go way back with us, Barry's. I, Punching a monkey in the face was one of the dumbest ideas I ever had, and one of my favorites. It turned out, and I to this day, I don't even know what made me think of it. Brax and I were doing a lot of sketch comedy at the time, and I saw that I was in the back room looking for something else. We got a catch-all area in the back, and I saw that monkey. I still don't even know what it was from, and for some reason it struck me as funny if I were punching it in the face. And then the boxing glove came in, and then the very cool hat. Yeah. uh, Midgeon Parasite says YouTube has gotten pretty strange. Oh yeah. First Article 13, then COPPA, and now demonetizing conversation. What the hell have those lawmakers been smoking? That Article 13 is nuts. That's just crazy. Let's see. Fernando, if you're just gonna come in and ask nonsensical questions, you're gonna have to leave. I mean, if you want to talk about anything, I don't have a problem with anybody having a problem the way the government does things, whether it's here or China or anywhere else. But if you're just going to come in all caps, which is obnoxious and a sign of a low IQ, but if you're just going to come in with that and just general silliness, you'll have to go. The EU's always been pretty fascist. Yeah, Chrome? Milog says, I once saw some guys with guns run into a jewelry store and get tackled under the security smoke by a midget who was in the show window when they arrived. Get a midget for home defense. We'll have to make a commercial about that. Well, that would be like Trunk Monkey. Any of you guys remember the old Trunk Monkey commercial? Steve says, I love the outtakes on all the sketches. Yeah, the outtakes are my favorite part. Brax is so easy to get to laugh. It's so easy to make him laugh when we're shooting. That hat was amazing. Well, the hat, when he broke up over that, I have to admit that was raw, because that was just something I thought of in that take, where I go, I'm punching this monkey in the face and I'm wearing a cool hat, and I didn't tell him I was going to do that because I thought of it on the spot, so I knew he was gonna I knew that one would take him out. What do you think about the state of the EU, Curtis? I'm not knowledgeable enough, Cool Whip, to really make comment on it. And again, I don't like commenting on something, even giving my thoughts, if I know those thoughts aren't backed with a substantial amount of knowledge, and mine just isn't really good enough. For some reason, Chrome says there's at least one idiot in chat streams doing something stupid for attention recently, at least more than usual now. You're right. It has come back around again, but there's always going to be people that are just starved for attention, and obviously things like that. That's all it is. It's just, oh, look at me, somebody look at me. Mom and Dad hate me. Can you guys like me? That type of thing. Oh shit, sorry about that. I was reading. Oh, berries. The only thing maybe slightly better than punching the monkey in the face while wearing a cool hat was when you had Brax breaking plates over your head. I fell out of my chair watching that one. That was frying pan, or not frying pan, some sort of pans or something. Yeah, I do remember that one. One of the most brutal ones for me was the goddamn what do they call those nasty ass tasting jelly beans? Bean Boozled. For those who didn't see, we did the Bean Boozled challenge, where you take one, and you're either going to get a good tasting thing or something gross. So we did that, and at the end of it, I said, fuck it, and I grabbed a handful of them and threw them in my mouth. Oh, I almost puked, and that one, my stomach was like upset, and it takes a lot to upset my stomach, and it was upset for the rest of the day. It was, oh, Jesus Christ, it was gross. um, Oink says, I have a gift for you, Curtis. It's an STD. You can have the S and the T now. I'll give you the D later. That's pretty good, actually. Brother E says, Curtis, do you see the Gabriel Fernandez case on Netflix? No, I didn't see that. If not, look it up for a quick second. It's such a tragic situation for this poor 6-year-old kid and shows how child services needs improvements. I don't like to be ignorant of anything, but I'll tell you, stuff like that just bothers me. Even witnessing it bothers me. Typically on stuff like that, like if they put it, you're talking about, if they put it on Netflix or on TV, whatever, I won't even watch them. I'll go read information about it because watching it disturbs me so much. Steve says, since we're talking about the older videos, I was watching all your MW3 videos again where you did the 1v1 knife where Brax cheated. Yeah, that little shit cheated me a couple times. And the thing of it is, he didn't need to cheat. He could kick my ass. The only games I could beat him in at any level were sports games. So if we're playing anything else, he could kick my ass anyway, and he'd cheat just to like grind it in a little more. No, I didn't see Bird Box going nowhere. Everybody was talking about it, and I just never got around to sitting down and watching it. I remember with Bird Box, it got a lot of hype, got a lot of recognition. But there were a lot of people here in our crew that saw it and said they didn't like it. So I just never did sit down and watch it, though. Let's see. Chris, have you heard of Jordan Peterson? So what's your take on him? Yeah, I know Jordan Peterson. It's all right. He's a pundit. He's isn't he, I'm trying to remember. Isn't he off social media now? Didn't he get sick or something? I might be thinking of the wrong man. You guys can correct me. But yeah, he was all right. Like most pundits, I agreed with some of what he said, didn't agree with other parts of what he said, but I thought he was well spoken and thoughtful. He's a psychologist. Let's see. He has brain damage. Cool. Is that what I remembered reading something that he was off social media because he was dealing with illness or injury or something, I thought. Excuse me, guys. He did get sick, our project. That's what I thought. Yeah, again, I don't have a ton of experience with him, but what I saw him, he seemed like an alright dude. Oh no, I didn't see this, Lute. Are you serious? So, Curtis, you heard about people in Iran licking shrines to prove they're not scared of the coronavirus? Y'all didn't need to go to war with them after all these morons are going to kill themselves. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine being that backwards and that stupid? Oh. Ultra Luke, I've been part of the channel since the Omegle vids. Born Stash 1 killed me. Yeah, it used to be fun. I went on, well, it was a while ago now, probably a year ago. I went back on Omegle just to see, geez, I wonder if I should toss out another Omegle video just to see what the gang thinks of it. Omegle had died. There's just really not much going on there anymore. So it wasn't even, you'd have to record forever just to get a few minutes worth of decent usable material because there were so few people on there now. I'll forever know Chrome says, I'll forever know Jordan Peterson as the man who wrote a full book basically telling young men to wash their balls to improve their lives. He basically writes personality tests for $10. Really? I don't know anything about that, Chrome. Really? Hey, if you can sell it. Jamie says, hey, Uncle Curtis, how do you like how they're giving Mike Bloomberg for cleaning up New York City when it was Vac Giuliani who was the one who began that process? Oh, you're 100% right on that, Jamie, because, again, being a New Yorker, and I think Rudy Giuliani has lost his mind. I'll put that right up front. I don't know who this guy is, but it's not the same Giuliani from before. But he is clearly the man who cleaned up New York, because I was down there a lot during Giuliani's tenure. And just Penn Station used to be an absolute shithole. There were gangs, there were muggings, there was stuff down there constantly. You hated to go in. And Giuliani cleaned that shit up. And yes, Bloomberg is trying to take credit for it. Well, Bloomberg keeps talking about how he initially was saying he was in New York when he still had to stand on the smoldering remains of 9/11. And yes, I mean, 9/11 had taken place recently when he came into office. But again, that was on Giuliani's watch. But Bloomberg's out there. Omega says, I made the mistake of watching Prostitute Mickey once. Yeah, that's a little too effed up for me. Now, see, that one didn't bother me, Omega. Again, it's mostly stuff with kids that'll get me. That one made me laugh. But I also have a bias that was going to make me laugh because you guys know what big Disney nuts myself and my whole family are. And when something is satire at something I like, I tend to find it even funnier. I know that's perverse. Typically, people will get annoyed if something is satirized that they like. But for me, I usually think it's funnier. So that was, yeah, that's that's right in my wheelhouse. uh, let's see. Giuliani went mastered them ruining his city, so he's gotten into conspiracies about them. That's all. Well, he's Arthur too. I mean, just some of the got mad. Yeah, um, some of the things he's doing on behalf of Trump right now, and some of the interviews I've seen with him, it doesn't seem like the same guy to me. He's just out there a little bit now. I don't know what's going on. As mayor of New York, I thought he was a pretty remarkable mayor and a really solid dude, but it just seems like I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. Woggle says Bloomberg is a little silly, but when he says something like more so people capitalists and he was booed for it really worries me. Yeah. Well, it depends on the audience, Woggle. Yeah, it depends on the audience. Jamie says, I agree. Giuliani is sadly not the same person. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. It's really heartbreaking. It really pisses me off. Bloomberg is taking credit for Giuliani's efforts. Yep. I remember when Rudy Disneyfied Times Square. Yep, I remember that. That's when he was getting all the garbage out of Times Square. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Giuliani did a phenomenal job of cleaning up New York, and again, that's not something I read. That's something I saw firsthand. That's something I experienced. He did a great job. Um, fuck this Corona. Let's put our tongues on stuff. Come on, kids. Felix Fox says, yeah. Can you imagine just being that backwards, that fucking dumb? Jeez. Not the Cool Whip says, Curtis, have you seen the Joker movie? Yes, I did. If so, what do you think about it in the media's response, saying it incited rebellion? Loved the movie. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was a good look at that character. And I think saying that it incites rebellion, they can just go jerk themselves off. Because so you can still tell your story. You can't be responsible for how everyone responds to a fictionalized story, or we'll have no fictionalized stories. We'll have no entertainment. The media in general, for me, unfortunately, a vast part of the media has long since abandoned any sort of journalistic integrity. Anyway, it's all about clicks and it's all about views anymore. So they can go fuck themselves with inciting rebellion. Doesn't matter if it did. It's still their story to tell. If people do something wrong with that knowledge, that's on the people. That's on the people who did it. Steve says you can't get the coronavirus if you put a clove of garlic up your arse when you leave the house. Don't believe me? Try it. Well, wait. What if I'm already doing that? Do I have to put two? Check Chrome's comment. Oh, Jesus Christ. Chrome said Lude forgot the worst part. They're not just idiots licking the shrines. They're making the kids lick the shrines, too. Yeah, like somebody had said earlier, is absolutely correct. Soon we won't have to worry about going to war with Iran if they're willing to just kill themselves. But I mean, and we know that, okay, overall, let's not jump over the edge. Overall, the coronavirus is bad. It's the death rate on it is probably going to continue to drop because there are more people being infected in countries with decent medical services. But all that said, why would you go out there and invite illness? Just stupid. Our project says, meanwhile, the president of my country is being too ignorant about the coronavirus. Where are you from, Project? I don't know. I don't know where you're from. What's your favorite piece of art? Like any show, song, picture, other form of art? Oh, I don't know, Hank. I don't know. Nothing even really pops into my mind probably 20 minutes after we do the stream, it'll go, oh yeah. But for right now, nothing is really popping up to me. Popping up. Curtis, what media do you still trust in, if any? Not the cool. Well, not what I do when I want to get information is I go to, unfortunately, you can't go to any media as a one-stop shop because they all have their own little spin, it seems, major media outlets. So I just cross-reference. Basically, if you go to enough different spots about things, as far as news items, if you go to enough different spots, then you can figure out through all the slant what is the truth. As far as like if I want details on coronavirus or something, I don't go to news outlets. I go to the CDC. I go to any medical outlets. Anybody that really will have pertinent knowledge and not a political stake in it, because that's what everything is now. Everything gets spun for political bias. Let's see. Jamie says, at church they began telling us not to shake hands during peace. That makes sense. They also said we must use our hands, not our tongues, to receive the host. They won't serve the precious blood. Response to coronavirus. That's just being really responsible, though, Jamie. You have to actually admire them for that. That's being very responsible. And unfortunately, until this gets squared away, and I do believe that it's going to get squared away, but until it does, there shouldn't be anything where you encourage handshaking. It's just not a good idea. Um, Munchie Time says, "Do you watch AEW at all? If so, what are your thoughts on it?" I've watched some. It's all right. You got a lot of good wrestlers, a lot of good workers there. The little bit I've caught of the storyline seem okay. I mean, it's nothing that made me go wow, but it's certainly worth watching. It's something that if it were on, I'm not going to turn it off. But in fairness, I'm not a diehard WWE watcher either. I watch that more often than I do AEW. But it's good. I mean, it's a good, well put together show. But it's nothing so far that's made me jump out of my chair. um, Ultra Luke says, "What is your opinion on vegans? And do you think the U.S. population could handle a ban on factory farms?" No to the second one. My opinion on vegans is, well, I don't have a problem with it. Whatever you want to eat, eat. Whatever you don't want to eat, don't eat. Doesn't affect me. As far as vegans and their indignancy about being vegans, and when they want to take their way of life and their lifestyle and try and impose it upon others, then I have a problem with them. Then they can go fuck themselves. That's the same way I look at with anything where somebody wants to take their own ideals and impose it on others. But as far as vegans themselves, as far as people being vegan, makes no difference to me. If all you want to eat is grass, don't matter to me. But no, I don't, as it stands right now, no, we couldn't handle a ban on factory farms. I don't believe, no. Let's see. Saw says, "Stop pushing your ideology onto other people, thinking you're better than them." Yeah, and even I'm with you, Saw, and I don't even care what your thought process is in doing it, thinking you're better than someone or whatever it may be. I'm not interested in your ideology. If that's what you want to eat, if that's what you want to consume, fine. I'm gonna go eat some yummy animals. That's all there is to it. I won't tell you not to do your thing. You don't tell me not to do my thing. I heard go fuck yourself. I'd love to, but I gave that up for Lent, Jamie says. Oh, that's right. We're in Lent, aren't we, Jamie? You know me. I'm not a religious person. That's right, though. I did see my my wife came home the other day and her forehead was all dirty up here, so that means we're in Lent. That's cool. Curtis, is there any country other than the U.S. that you would like to live in? If so, why? Thanks for answering all these. Oh, no problem. Ooh. I've never really thought about living in another country, so I'd have to research living. There's a lot of countries I want to visit. As far as living, I don't know, because I've never thought of it. So I've never studied or researched. That's a good question, actually. I've never studied or researched a country with the thought being, hey, what would it be like to live there? So I'm sure there probably is. There's got to be. Oh, excuse me, guys. Just text. I'll get it when we're done. I'm sure there is. I just don't know what they would be because I've never looked at it from that angle. That's interesting. That's interesting. I now that I think about it, again, I've looked at lots of countries to develop my list of places I'd like to visit, but I don't know. I don't know. You guys got any? If you guys got any suggestions on countries that I should look into living in, hit me with them. Did I miss the super chat, Lex? I don't know. Did I? Hold on. Let me check. Oh, yep, I did. Thank you. Omega says, if idiots want to get themselves killed, then let them. If they're that stupid, they're probably doing the human race a favor. Yeah, kind of Darwinism, right, Omega? If they're that dumb, yeah, yeah. Actually, you're probably thinning out the herd in a perfectly acceptable manner. I agree with that. Fictional content shouldn't be illegal ever. No, I would say that, Arthur, as long as it doesn't encourage, because then you could take stories where you're encouraging adults to molest children or something like that. I would say yes, that should be illegal, just for the same reasons. Because you guys know me, I'm a huge freedom of speech person, but just for the same reason, you can't go into that crowded movie theater and shout fire. But outside of, as far as actual fictional content telling a story, if it's edgy, if it's dark, whatever, that's fine. I think if you cross the line into certain illegal activities or the promotion of certain activities that would harm children, then I think you're in a gray area there, because we have to, as a society, we have to be responsive enough to realize that these sick fucks out there, and I know the obvious response is, well, are you saying murder's illegal? We can't kill people? Nope, I'm not saying that at all. I just think we have a right to protect children, or a duty to protect children. So that would be my one area. But again, I am big on freedom of speech, so it's where the two things butt heads. Let's see. Daniel says, don't come to UK unless you love rain, wind, and fucking traffic. Daniel, I hear that all the time from you guys in the UK. I hear that's you guys. I never realized the traffic is as brutal as it is until we had the channel. We did these streams, and the UK crew is always talking about goddamn traffic. My favorite breed of dog, Sergeant, even though we don't have one right now, was always pugs. I've had a couple pugs in my life and love them. Although I'm really, really tight with our giant dinosaur dog. She's awesome. And she's the first Mastiff I've ever owned. And she's cool. Finland? VD Dodge says? I know I would like to visit Finland. That's on my list. Well, we want to see the Northern Lights too. Ireland is on the list of countries I want to see. All that UK region. And of course, Japan wasn't even on the list, and now it's moved near the top for me just because of you guys and getting me into anime. Because prior to that, it wasn't even on the list. Now it's near the top. That's what everybody says, Bill. They say the traffic in the UK is just insane. I never realized that. Why would I want to go to Ireland? It looks gorgeous. I mean, the videos and pictures I see and everything. And you have to remember, too, being an American, our history goes back, 244 years or so? You guys go back like that. We're little tiny kitties compared to the history that you guys have over in the UK and over in other parts of the world. And that stuff fascinates me. I'd love to see all the old castles and the history that you guys have. So, what we consider old here in America, you folks over in Europe can go, yeah, real old. You got some really cool, deep history there that I'd like to see. Sergeant says, nice man would be the Congo? Beautiful dog and really smart too. I'm not even familiar with those, really. Ever heard the shitty traffic in Manila? No, is it bad there too? Project? Really? What about Afghanistan? Now, the ruler of Afghanistan, I don't know if I'd want to live there. He's a creepy bastard. I don't like him. Ultra Luke says, say what you want about the EU, but Queen Elizabeth II is the baddest bitch in Europe. She's going to live forever. I'm sure she'll be around long after I'm gone, probably after my kids are gone. Japanese lady voice. No, what I want to do is I want to see the home of anime. That's what I want to see. Chrome says, if you ever visit Scotland, just don't be a moron and you won't get stabbed. Also, don't smile at people or you get stabbed. And don't look a junkie in the eye or you get stabbed, and so on and so forth. I'm seeing a recurring theme there, Chrome. Stunman says, so I wound up spanking one out to Avril Lavigne again last night. Don't know if it's starting to become a problem. If all your listen, if Avril does that for you, I say more power to you. You guys are funny. Did you know that UK, as we know it, is the remaining mountaintop of a massive sunken continent which flooded twice? I did not know that, Lex. Really? That's kind of interesting. No, I did not know that. Hmm. Oh, Saw says, I don't know how they pronounce it. Akihabara? The way it's spelled, Akihabara, is called the city of anime. It's near Tokyo in Japan. Oh, see, that's, yeah. I would nerd right out for that. I would love to see that. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go. That's why we didn't do a gaming stream today because I knew I didn't have a ton of time. I'm going to that. I told you guys I'm like a little kid. I wish I could have gotten to make a video about it. I have it written out and I never got time. I'm like a little kid about the opportunity to play baseball again in that over 55 league. I haven't been about this excited about something and I couldn't tell you when. And tonight's the night I go meet with the Pirates team and I'm going to have a workout with them and may even make a decision on whether or not I'm going to join them or whatever the case may be. But I got a lot more editing to do and stuff. I want to get everything tied up because I just can't freaking wait. I can't wait to get to play ball again. Kid in the candy store, or like you in a candy store. Exactly, Big Green. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Steve says, try not getting a hard on. Try not getting a hard on when you play. No promises. No promises. Yeah, I'm so excited. I just can't wait. I'll keep you guys posted on it all. But thank you guys for hanging out with me in this stream. This was fun. It didn't even go in the direction that we initially thought it was going to, but as always, it ended up being a blast. Well, thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. But I will be back. Should be back talking to you guys tomorrow, and I will let you know how everything went at the workout. And we'll sit down and have another good chat tomorrow. But thanks for hanging out with me, and as always, poundful, sticky stuff for everybody. Join in, everybody. Hands out. Sticky stuff. Yeah, we'll spread droplets. We'll show that coronavirus. We'll bang, okay? Flashlight like Buggy, and most importantly and forever, goosh. Goosh.